the Fresno Focus Radio Hour. This is the No Focus Radio Hour. Comedy and insight from the greatest minds in Fresno. A Lightomine Media production.
Oh my gosh, guys, we're back. This is the No Focus Radio Hour, the #1 independent podcast in the Central Valley. Thank you for listening, and thank you for telling a friend. The No Focus Radio Hour is available anywhere podcasts can be found, including Audible, YouTube, and your home smart speakers. Remember to subscribe and leave a review. It really does help others discover our show. And while you're reviewing, keep in mind that 5 stars is the correct number of stars. If you enjoy our show, please share it with your friends. But if you hate it, share it with your enemies. Check out our site, nofocusradio.com. There you can get exclusive content. You can check out Don's old polls. Find us on social media. Our handle is at nofocusradio. You can find the rest of our stuff at lightominemedia.com.
And I know just what I got to do.
What do you got to do?
Hit the ground running, running just as fast as I
like
can.
Like a Sasquatch.
Gonna hit the ground running, running to my favorite podcast in Fresno.
Oh, we sound good. This is the No Focus Radio Hour, the #1 independent podcast in the Central Valley. It's made for those who live in the Central Valley, for those who miss the Central Valley, those who long to live in the Central Valley, and for those who
are expecting a visit from Krampus this Christmas season in the Central Valley.
Oh, my
Nice.
goodness. As always, we have our beautiful cast of characters. We have with us the Doorman.
Hey, Fresno, it's good to be back. Speaking of Krampus, though, I thought Krampus was supposed to leave you like presents if you're good, though.
Oh, heck no.
What does he do? What is the story behind Krampus? Is
Krampus will come if you're naughty, and he will hit you with sticks.
And that's it?
So my daughter, when she was little, she was just an absolute pain in my behind.
Okay.
And so I told her about the legend of Krampus and said, Krampus is going to come get you. And she kind of like lost her mind. And my wife said, stop doing that, stop doing that. So one night I snuck into her room and put sticks on the ground.
Oh,
so like
my
Krampus
gosh.
had been there. She woke up all terrified. Krampus was in my room. Ah. I go, oh, you got so lucky. Did he beat you? No, he didn't. So she was a changed kid for a little while after that.
Okay, so does Krampus only beat you with a stick? Is that all he does?
The actual story is that on St. Nick would go to people's homes, and he would give good kids gifts. But bad kids would get beaten with birch sticks by Krampus.
By Krampus, really? So there was 2 of them.
I didn't have birch sticks. I just cut some things off the tree.
Wow.
Some sticks.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, so that's it.
Well, thank you for that history lesson. And that history lesson came from the one, the only Mr. Stu Pidasso.
Hey, thank you. You know, it's been hard having one of the greatest minds in Fresno, because with the greatest mind comes great responsibility.
It is. People always come up to us and
I know.
they're like, God, can you guys explain things to me just because you're so
and
great?
It's horrible.
That kind of explains why nobody comes up to me then, right?
Yeah,
well, because we're 3 out of 4 minds.
Yeah, so, and I just make up stuff. I don't know what I'm saying half the time.
We're 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, he's the doorman. I don't want you. Where's Stu? I got to ask Stu a question.
Yeah.
Where's Johnny? I need one of the greatest minds.
The greatest mind.
You don't qualify.
Fresno.
Okay, in the other end, we have the man, the myth, the legend, the one, the only, Mr. Johnny Nuts.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
You know, I was going to ask you, but I don't even know if we're...
I'm ready.
You're ready? Okay.
Okay.
All right. Hey, the other day I was out at the Christmas tree lot, and I was trying to steal a tree because I didn't have any money to pay for it because everything's going to PG&E now.
True.
So anyway, I was able to get a pine cone, but while I was jumping over the fence with my pine cone...
In time, it'll be a tree.
Yeah, just give it enough time. There you go, science. The guy said, hey, you, give me back that pine cone. And by the way... He goes, aren't you on that show? And I said, yeah, as I was jumping over.
Oh.
And he goes, just as I was hitting the barbed wire and screaming in excruciating pain, he goes, hey, by the way, how did that guy Johnny Knobs get his name?
Oh.
Just like the way Bob Wire got his name.
Yeah, Bob Wire. Robert Wire.
How did you get your name? I've always been wondering.
Yeah.
this.
So do you guys know the town? There's a really small. Do you guys know the town of Harmony? It's off of the
Yes,
Juan.
I do.
In
Population 13.
Yes.
I want to go there.
It's right between
Cambria and like
Cambria.
Cayucas.
Yeah, it's Cambria and Cayucas or
Yeah.
Morro Bay somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's right by
So
all the time.
I grew up in Harmony.
Ooh.
You did?
Yeah, so I
He
grew
was
up in
number 12
Harmony.
of 13.
Yeah. And they used to call me Johnny Knobs. Why? You asked.
Okay, wait. Now, if I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I just had to throw in here real quick. You grew up in Harmony,
Yeah,
so it was
Harmony.
Max, and then you said there were 13 people. Were two of them Ebony and Ivory?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
They were living together.
They
in
lived together in
perfect harmony.
perfect harmony.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
that's
Sorry,
amazing.
I had to do that.
That was good.
Where's the button?
Oh, yeah, ready? Do that
what?
again.
Yeah.
So do your joke again.
Okay. By the way, are two of those people that came from Harmony, Ebony and Ivory?
Yes, they were.
Hey, there you go. Oh.
That will qualify you as one of the greatest minds in Fresno.
We're-
Congratulations.
oh, nice.
Oh, that's nice.
The bar
We're
is very low.
We're
so
right on
You're
it.
there.
So when I was living in Harmony,
Yes, sorry. Go ahead.
The thing is, everybody knew that I held power over sound,
Hmm.
or so they said. See, it all started with my uncanny ability to fix anything that made noise, unlike
Ooh.
my microphone cable, which goes dead every week. See, one day, a majestic carnival arrived in town, bringing it with it a lady named Madame Zara.
I love the Majestic Carnival.
This renowned fortune teller, I was intrigued by her, and I decided to have my fortune told. And Madame Zara gazed into her crystal ball and whispered, "Johnny Knobs, I see great power within you. You control something precious."
Nice.
Confused, I asked, "What do I control?" And she smiled mysteriously. "The volume, my dear. You control the volume." So I left the tent, and her words were echoing in my mind.
Echo, echo, echo.
As I walked through the carnival, I spotted a stage with a malfunctioning microphone, and without hesitation, I dove in to fix it. In no time, the microphone transformed, filling the air with crystal clear sound. The crowd erupted in applause, and my reputation spread like wildfire.
Among 13 people
Like wildfire!
in Harmony.
There were only 12. He was the 13th.
Oh, 12.
These
Oh, that's right.
13 people, they
12,
flocked to
12.
me. These 12 people, they flocked to me seeking my audio expertise.
Yes.
And with each repair, I brought harmony to dissonance.
Harmony. Oh, thank you.
And so the nickname stuck. But it wasn't just about sound. It was about the power of control. So there you have it, the tale of Johnny Knobs. They call me that because in the town of Harmony, I controlled the volume.
All right,
Yeah,
nice,
yeah.
nice.
I
Now, is that?
I didn't write that. Yeah,
is
that
that
was
Chat
AI. That was
GPT?
totally AI. Yeah.
AI is so impressive.
It's getting better, actually.
It's getting much better.
It's actually getting a lot better.
Yeah.
Hey, before we move on here, it's interesting you mentioned that. I'm actually looking at the town of Harmony because they do glass blowing there.
They do, yeah, and they have a winery.
And they have a winery, but my daughter wanted to do that. We actually, when we were
She
originally
wanted
gonna,
to see the winery?
Yeah,
Your
the
daughter's
winery.
little, isn't she?
I was going to go do the glass blowing, and she's going to do the winery. No, she wanted to do the glass blowing, and that's
Oh,
I guess
wow.
that's the only place I can. That's the only one I can find so far. Like
That
on
does
the
glass
coast,
blowing?
That does glass blowing. I
Oh,
thought
on
they
the
did
coast.
it on the coast. I thought they did it in Cayucas, but I couldn't really
No.
find any place that.
They don't.
Okay, and so anyway, yeah. So I think we're going to go there pretty soon and
That'd
do
be
some
cool.
glass.
I'm going to
blowing.
tell you guys a true story. This is actually a real story about the town of Harmony, and you can ask Don Schlix. We went there when I was probably in junior high, high school, or something like that, and as a family. And there's like public bathrooms outside, and they were just disgusting. And I'll never forget. Justin and I, the air inside these bathrooms before I even say it, when Don's listening, he's gonna say the exact same thing. It was milky. It was milky air. It was so thick, and,
Really?
like, white air. And I remember, like, as we were in there, we were like, oh. I was like, oh my God, the air. It's like, and we were both looked at each other. We're like, it's milky. It was the craziest thing.
Wow.
So we always remember that Harmony's bathrooms had.
Well, you know that
milky air.
was a dairy.
Yeah,
at
there's
one
a
time.
dairy in the post office. It's a dairy or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There, yeah. So maybe it was left over. Maybe it was the methane from the cows left
Yeah.
over. You know, it's
Yeah.
cow burps now. It's not the cow farts they're saying.
Is that what they're saying?
Yeah. So it's all the
Is
cow.
AOC saying that?
The cow burps is what we have to watch out for.
Yeah.
So if you're in the front of the cow, you're in the wrong spot. You got to be in the back of the
Any
cow.
part of the cow is the wrong spot. The only time to be around
Except
a
on the
cow
barbecue?
is when it's a steak on the barbecue. Yes.
One thing I would do before you go to Harmony to go glass blowing, I would
Yes.
call ahead or maybe send like a messenger pigeon or something.
Why?
Because you just never know. It wouldn't be closed down. Like, there's only 13 people there. What if they're taking
Oh.
a nap? What if they got, what if COVID wiped them out? I don't know. What if the flu's happening?
I'll have to see how many of them actually participate in the glass blowing.
Well, also they have a big winery there, and they do wine tastings, and their wine. Last time I was there, was not that good, but the place is very pretentious, and they have little live
really?
music festival things and stuff like that. I was not impressed.
Yeah, they're like, our whole town comes out once a week to our winery.
Yeah,
I'm
and
like,
it's
wow.
swell,
Yeah.
13 people.
Good for
Yeah.
you.
Well, I wonder. I hope they don't store the wine barrels in that restroom.
Oh God,
Maybe
maybe
that's
that's so they get they're like that classic thick taste. That wine has such body.
Well,
The milky.
I'll tell
Our
you.
wine has so much body because we distill it in our toilets in the milky air.
When the cows belch it out.
God.
Yeah, it cost. I looked it up already though. I can't remember the name of the outfit there that does it, but it costs about $250 an hour
To glass blow?
to do a glass blowing.
Yeah, don't do that. I wouldn't do that.
Oh, my Diana, the daughter wants it, man.
I know that.
No, you have to do it on the
Freaking
beach? Because
dangerous.
Harmony's not even on the beach.
What? Well, we'd have to stay somewhere there.
Why'd you have to go there to do glass blowing?
Because that was the only place we could find. Do you know another place on the coast that does
No,
it?
why does it have to be on the coast, though? That's what I'm confused about.
Well, because, originally I just looked there because I heard, Cayucas is supposed to be like an artsy town, right?
Okay.
So I thought, all right, maybe they do it in Cayucas, and I looked, and no, but then it said Harmony, and I was like, oh, okay, well, that's right there. We could go to Morro Bay, or we could go to...
Cayucas isn't much of an artsy town. Cambria is more of an artsy town.
Yeah, but they don't do... But they don't... I think that's the only...
glass blowing. That's the only place I've ever seen glass blowing anywhere on the
Is
coast.
Harmony?
It's Harmony.
Yeah, see,
They
that's the only
advertise it,
place.
Yeah. Do they let you blow glass there?
Yeah, you can
you can
do
do it?
like so. What you can do is you can do an hour. So it'll be a project. So I'm sure it's just like a vase or something simple, but they'll guide you through it, and it's like an hour session, and you can do up 1 to 2 people can be involved, and
not
it's
bad,
it's
really.
$250 for that. But you also get the piece too.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also it's something your daughter will always remember for the rest of her
Well,
life.
and
do you know Corey Ballas?
She have the scars to prove it. I got the scar on my arm from blowing glass with my dad.
no, who was that? No,
Corey Ballas.
I know Corey Feldman.
He's he's like literally like a
personally,
master glass blower, and he has a
in
studio
town.
Yeah, right by the airport. It's this massive studio. You can go do classes with him and stuff like that.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
in
he's
town?
awesome. Here, I'll pull him up. Here it is.
Yeah.
Corey Ballas. He began blowing in
Oh, man.
2005.
That's
He has a
impressive.
degree.
In glass blowing?
Yeah, he worked at Cliz Whiskey Glass. I forget. Anyways, him and his brother opened up a massive
Kills the
studio,
whiskey.
the Ballas Glass Studio by the airport. I met him at. Do you know Fresno Idea Works? You guys know Fresno Idea
That
Works?
sounds familiar. What is that?
It's like where you can become. It's like you can learn on projects. You can learn glass blowing, how to fix bikes, how to do machinery, how to carve wood. I met them there. They were doing glass blowing classes there.
Oh wow.
I just like bumped into them, met them. I was like, you guys are awesome. And not that long after that, I heard that they opened up their big studio. They have glass and metal. They do it all right
How do
here.
you blow metal?
Not far. They do metal stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not far from like our studio.
And they have class. I mean, like a class would just be. I'm just looking for like an hour, something that she can just go do
Keep
a
her
little
busy,
project.
yeah.
Well, no, she just wants to try it. I don't want her to like a 6-week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
just a
do
little introductory
shops.
thing,
They have
Yeah.
shop schedules. You can do drinkware workshop is $90.
Oh
for
shoot!
8+, or
All right,
you can
she's
do
8.
a heart is $60 for 6+. That includes all material, and you get to keep your item.
You just
That
lost
sounds
the
like
true
what we need to
fructose,
do.
I
Yeah.
think I might have just saved you some money.
I think you just saved me a lot of money.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think this might be the way
Buy
to
him a
do
new
it.
You know what?
microphone cord.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna say this, man. Fresno is freaking awesome.
You just
Yeah.
have to look. People don't know. Like,
yeah, it's like Fresno has so much stuff here packed in,
Yeah.
and nobody even knows anything
you know
about
what you
it.
should do? He's doing December ornament, holiday one, so you can blow glass ornaments.
shoot.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, go do a glass ornament one. Link in the show notes, everybody. Corey Ballas, professional glass blower here in Fresno. So
You know what? And when I go there, I'm going to tell them, hey, the No Focus Radio Hour
really
sent you.
tell them,
and
the No
also
Focus.
everyone out there, tell them that too if you go or get in contact with him.
Yeah.
I'm going to see if he wants to come on the show and talk about
You
it.
please
That'd be
do.
awesome,
That'd
yeah.
be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, Corey Ballas, guys. Ballas Glass.
And now, do you know him?
Check that out. He's
met
not
him.
going to remember me.
Okay.
I met him twice. He's in a video I did about Fresno Idea Works, but that was in 2015.
Okay.
He's gonna, or maybe 2016. He's gonna be like, who the heck?
So if I say but
he knows the No Focus
only
radio
oh
show.
he does know No Focus.
For
Now
sure.
if I were to go to Harmony,
yes,
they would know you.
only as Johnny.
They would know
Knobs.
Johnny
They would
Knobs
know
there.
Johnny Knobs. Yeah,
but not necessarily here. This
no,
guy Corey,
no,
not
no.
necessarily.
Corey,
he-
no. Corey would. I mean, in Harmony, if you show up, I mean, you'll see me. They have glass statues of Johnny Knobs.
Oh, of
Who
you.
does it? Who does
The day that I saved that microphone, they did this. They all 12 people.
They worship you now?
Just started blowing glass sculptures of me.
Really?
And I was like, please stop blowing me, guys. This is ridiculous.
So they
Stop
fell on
doing
their
that.
knees and they started worshiping you. You're like an idol
Yeah,
there.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty
Wow.
much. So,
You're
anyways,
like a
yeah,
god.
But
You're a
here
god.
in Fresno, they'll know the No Focus show.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah,
that's where you're gonna want
that
to
you know what?
go.
That is awesome though. I mean, it is true. It's funny how just what you say. You have to look. I mean, there's so much stuff that goes on in Fresno that nobody even knows about.
Yeah, because like I was on Instagram trolling around like I do, and I always look for places to take my son, and I found out about the Flightline Cafe in Fresno County.
What's that?
It's the airport that's down there by Whitesbridge.
Okay, yeah.
They have
The Chandler, is that the Chandler one?
Yeah, it used to be.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Chandler.
What's it
Chandler
called
Airport,
now?
yeah.
It's at the BH or something.
Yeah,
But they have a whole cafe there, and they have a little
best
like
man.
airport, the old-fashioned airport mock-up.
That
It's like a
first
little
one when you go in, it
museum.
almost looks like something from Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
yeah.
In fact,
Oh,
that's where
it-
they filmed some scenes. for
Yeah.
It wasn't Indiana Jones.
Yeah, if you the old before it was called Flightline Cafe, I forget what it was called. I used to go there with a bunch of guys from Roger Rocca's, like monthly. We'd go meet at that airport,
Really?
and have lunch there. They had great sandwiches. It was
Yeah, the food's supposed to be
Wow.
really
and
good.
it's cool because you sit, and as you're like just having lunch, you have all these guys in their little planes taking off near you, and you're just kind of it's actually
is it
really
still
cool.
there, or since they
Yeah, it's
changed?
still there. In fact, they just had a thing on it on Instagram, and they have like it's all airport themed, where you go and eat, and the food's supposed to be really good.
Yeah, breakfast. I don't know
Wow.
anything besides breakfast and
I
lunch.
have it right here. It's open Mondays through Saturdays, 6:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. And you can just walk in, and it's at 524 Airport Road in Fresno.
Wow,
Yeah.
you just sit there and watch the planes take off.
It's really fun. It's actually I used to go there, like I said, but once a month for a while we'd go there, and then when they shut down for a little bit, and then they reopened as Flightline.
Yeah.
I don't know if it. So I haven't been since it's been Flightline, so I couldn't vouch for it now. But it was great.
I don't know why it's so fun watching small planes take off because they're
is.
smaller planes, right? I mean, they're like personal planes. That's like when I'm driving out on Herndon and there's that Skyway Park or whatever. What was it? What's it called? Sky Park
Yeah,
or
where
whatever.
people
Oh, yeah,
drive their
That-
planes
that
right
air-
to their houses.
That airport. But it's like a treat when you actually get because they're flying right over you
Yeah.
on Herndon. It's like so cool when you get to see them land or take off. And it's like, I don't know why. I get like a little kid and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a plane. But I would love to take my daughter out there and just have her watch these planes take off.
Oh, yeah.
Because every time I drive with her, one's never there. It's always when I'm by myself. I see these planes. But yeah, that would be fun to go out there. Dang, man, I'm gonna find all kinds of stuff. I can go do some glass blowing.
And then take your daughter to a nice breakfast or brunch.
Yeah.
Out there by the airport.
Yeah, no,
and
it's
that's
awesome.
over there by Kearney Mansion too,
Yes,
right?
it is.
Yeah. Right by Kearney. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff, like you said.
Well, I was gonna say because as a matter of fact, I had a story about Kearney Mansion. My wife got excited. We actually may go this Saturday. They have an exhibit right now about Gottschalks.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Really?
kind of the history, of Gottschalks, I guess, and
That'd be
I mean, we
cool.
haven't seen it yet, but my wife used to work for them. She worked for them for about 11 years, and she was right up until the end when they closed down. I mean, literally, she was on the news. Like when they showed people walking out onto the corporate headquarters.
really?
Yeah, she was on the news there. I mean, she was so. I mean, she loved that place. She loved the people. It was so funny. I mean, there's a loyalty there. She still, as a matter of fact, for every about twice a year, she gets together with a whole group of Gottschalks friends.
Yeah.
They were all friends when they worked there, and they still all get together. And they usually around the holidays, sometime in the spring or summer too, or certain events. But yeah, it's like there's just a connection people have that used to work there to Gottschalks.
Right.
It's amazing. So yeah, so we're gonna go check that out. I
Do you know
guess
how
it's-
long it lasts? I'll read a little bit about the exhibit, but it doesn't say how long it lasts.
I think she was saying she thought it lasted till the end of the year. What it says there is I think they do like quarterly exhibits, special exhibits. So I think she said this one is set up till the end of the year, and then they're gonna put something else in there.
So I'm going to read this little thing about
Sure.
this. It says, Gottschalks, the store that cares.
Oh.
That is how Gottschalks founder Emil Gottschalk described the business and the legacy that was Gottschalks department stores. Emil opened his first store in the heart of downtown Fresno in 1904, a time in our history in which Fresno was beginning to boom. This exhibit is an homage to the nostalgia of the Gottschalks legacy and what it has left behind in the hearts and memories of former customers, employees, and the communities in which the stores called home. In honor of this iconic business, the Fresno County Historical Society presents to you this heartfelt tribute to the Gottschalk's legacy with special thanks to the Bloom family for their valued contributions to this exhibit. The gallery is open for viewing as part of the Kearney Mansion Museum tour on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Only 2 hours a day, once a week, or twice a week. A little bit longer, I think, would be nice.
Well, is that the hour? Is that when it's open?
1
or
to
is that-
3.
Or is that the?
It's kind of a niche exhibit, though.
1 to 3,
Gottschalk's.
or by
Yeah.
special appointment. So 1 to 3.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's included if you do a tour, right? So you could go and do a house tour, a group tour.
I don't think the gallery is part of that, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, we'll have to look at that because I think we were
You're
gonna
like,
go
we're
do
going to go at noon.
I know we were gonna go. Well, we were gonna go do the group tour, but I thought it wasn't included. But maybe I don't know. I'll have to relook at that. But anyway, I just thought it was kind of interesting.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I remember when Gottschalk's was gonna reopen.
Uh-huh.
There,
Yeah.
there was a
Somebody's
short
gonna buy
time.
'em or something, or what?
What was that?
Was somebody going to buy them and relaunch it?
No, it was actually I can't remember one of the family members that was still alive at the time. He was trying to get money to open it back up, and just in a smaller scale, obviously, but open it back up in Fresno and get the company kind of
Gotcha.
jump started again. And it just never happened, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I know my wife was one, but there was a bunch of employees that were ready to go back if they ever did.
Yeah. No, we used to sell our we sell our chocolates there, things like that. We had a little booth there growing up. So, no Gottschalk's. Big part of Fresno.
Yeah,
Gottschalk's.
yeah. They got caught in the housing crash wave.
Was it 2008, 2009 when they shut
Yeah.
down, that sort of thing?
I think she lost it about 2009, 10. She lost her job.
They didn't get the bailouts, but like Ford and the banks did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone else.
Well, it's like everything else, and we see this cycle happening again, but now. But it's like everything else. Credit was so good, everything was
Right.
so sweet at that time. They
no
were just
credit, no problem.
they were expanding into. Well, yeah, it's true, and they were expanding all over.
Yeah.
The western side here of the states.
Yep.
I mean, I think they had stores in Alaska. They had stores up and down in like Washington. I mean, just all over the place. But and then they bought stores that were already there and renamed them Gottschalk's.
Right.
But they just overexpanded. Then when the crisis came and
Then
hit,
there's no money, yeah.
everything dried up. And yeah, I mean, you had like department stores that survived. Of course, were like Penny's and Macy's that were big enough to. Sears at the time that were big enough to do it, but now
Yeah, you're right. They went across California, Washington, Alaska, Idaho, Oregon, and Nevada.
yeah.
You should be a docent at the museum.
I
You and your
should
wife.
go over there. Yeah, actually, my wife should. She knows more than I do.
Prior
but-
to its bankruptcy, it was the largest independently owned, publicly traded apartment store in the United States.
yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Well,
That's sad.
it meant so much to the valley, so much to the people here for years and years. I know there's people that even said they still have clothes that they buy at Gottschalk's that are still. I mean, they're just good quality. you
Right.
know?
Actually, I have a $15 gift certificate to Gottschalk's.
Are you
that
serious?
I've never cashed in.
Oh man, that would be so cool.
If I ever, because it's in a book, and every so often I'll go through the book and find it. If I ever find it again, I'll give it to you and give it to your wife.
Oh, that would have been cool. I would say you should turn it into the museum.
Really?
We
But it's
actually,
one of the older ones because it has all this printing on it. It's really pretty.
yeah.
But I always think, oh, you should go to Gottschalk's, and then I never did. And by that time, though, it's like $15 was not worth that much at the time. Before it was
Yeah.
worth more. But if I ever find it, I'll give it to you. You can give it to
Oh,
your
that would
wife.
be cool. Yeah. Oh, she'd
Say,
love
"Here,
that.
honey."
Yeah. Now, I think I still have a couple of suits that I bought. When she worked there, they had a pretty good discount. I think it was 20%.
Mm-hmm.
So, I have a couple. I have some items too that were left over. We still have our credit cards, old Gottschalk's credit
Yeah.
cards.
I
You
still
know,
have
that
my
we
Toys
saved.
R Us one.
Oh, that would be
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
That'd have
Waiting
been
for that to
nice,
come
man.
back. I still have
Yeah.
that.
So anyway,
Oh man. So I haven't seen you guys since. How was your Thanksgiving? How was it? You do a Thanksgiving recap? Was it decent? Anything special, or just kind of Thanksgiving?
kind of low key, really.
Good.
This year for me.
So we were at the coast, and then we came back the day before Thanksgiving and had Thanksgiving at home.
Why?
I don't know. It's my wife's idea.
Really?
I have
just-
a question. You're
Yeah.
in Morro Bay.
We were in Morro Bay.
Have you ever seen? I didn't know this. They had this thing in Morro Bay. They have a holiday boat parade where the boats get all. Have you seen that?
I've seen it before.
Man, that sounds awesome.
Where
When
they
does that happen?
They, I don't remember exactly when, but they get all the boats and they put decorations all over them, lights and everything, and then they like float them around, and they have a little boat parade. And
Oh, that's
yeah,
cool.
it's kind of cool.
Isn't that
It's
cool?
Very lit up.
Yeah.
Kind of neat.
They also have one around Halloween where all the witches get on paddle boards and canoes and stuff. People in witch outfits, and they go around the bay in witch outfits, floating around.
That would be fun. The holiday, so it doesn't say holiday parade. You don't know when it is there,
I don't
Max? Are you
remember.
looking
Morro
at it?
Bay Lighted Boat Parade. Oh wait, it says this is not an active page. Please visit.
Uh-oh.
Jeez.
I think you just got hacked.
this year.
You got hacked.
Supposed to go to the Rotary Club of Morro Bay. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's 2022. They're not showing me much. I'll show you some pictures though, guys. Linked in the show notes.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It's pretty cool.
Oh, man, that looks good, these pictures.
December
of these boats.
2nd, 3rd, 4th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 16th, 17th, and 18th.
Yeah, so we're missing it.
Wow.
But yeah, it's they light them all up and they're really pretty, and a lot of people go all out. And
Instead of
it's
like
neat to see
seeing
'em on the water.
homes, like Christmas Tree Lane, you go and you see this.
Yeah, and they just float by. You could stand still, and they come past you.
I like
That is cool.
I'd be into that.
Christmas.
Is there, where's the best place to view those? Like if you go.
Probably the water.
But the beach.
The water.
On the beach.
Oh, just on the beach there?
Yeah,
To
they
go
have
right by the
different-
beach?
They have different viewing areas you can go and hang out.
Okay.
A lot of people come to see it, though, and it's cold.
It's not like Disneyland. Everything's blocked off now, and you have to pay extra just to watch a boat come by with some lights on it.
No, you don't have to
Oh.
pay extra, but you do have to kind of like jostle for a position.
That's the thing, man. Everything's you have to pay for everything now. Nothing's free
Just
anymore.
about, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, no, my Thanksgiving was pretty low key. How about you, Max?
Oh, all these people came over to my house to watch football.
Oh, football.
Oh, you weren't
I
done.
hated
I'm sorry.
that. I'm sorry. No, I just had that memory.
We got you sidetracked with the boat
No, it's
parade.
just my wife has all these people over to watch football, and I'm going, oh my god.
Did you know who they were?
I don't half of them.
And did you have to cook? Were you out there slaving cooking for these people you don't know?
Nope,
Half of you don't
I
know.
hid in my lab.
There you go.
Did you?
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm a
Pretty
hider.
sweet. That's nice.
Yeah.
And how was yours, Don?
Mine was it was good. We had my
expect nothing
parents
else.
were in South Africa.
I know. I've been seeing their posts.
Really?
So I'm going,
Yeah.
are they really in South
Yeah,
Africa?
they were in South Africa.
Yeah, they
with
were
my
taking
two-
pictures of rhinos
Yeah.
and shit. And I'm going, oh
with
Wow.
my two oldest nieces. So
Oh, that's got to be awesome.
that was cool. So they had that trip. So me and my wife had early Thanksgiving, same day of Thanksgiving, but earlier in the day with her grandma. So my daughter's great grandma.
Oh, wow.
93, just turned 93.
Holy smokes.
So we went and had Thanksgiving with her at like 1. And then after that, we went over to Don Schlick's house. And we hung out with Don Schlick's and his family, minus his two of his daughters, who
Out
just
on a safari.
who happened to be on a safari.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same time as my nieces were, so I thought that was interesting. So yeah, that's what we did. It was pretty good. It was busy, when you're driving back and forth across town. You guys know how that.
Yeah.
But it was good though. It was nice.
Yeah, if you're going to go to Africa, your mom's the person to go with.
Yes,
Because she doesn't put up with anything.
Yeah, and she
knows the rules.
She knows, and she's seen a lot. They had a really rough trip though. It was 120 to 130 degrees some days.
Whoa.
Wow.
Zero air conditioning at any place they were staying, and very
What?
and humid. So my mom got like essentially they called it
Dengue fever.
sun. What do they call it? Dengue fever. They called it a sun allergy, which is essentially like a mild heat stroke that just lasts for a long time.
Oh,
Wow.
jeez.
Kind of like sun poisoning, but
Yeah, my dad, right before 2 days before he left, we got a ton of. We got like when I say a ton, I mean a couple of tons. We had how many? We had like 300 20-pound turkeys, frozen turkeys that we went and got and donated.
Oh.
And we drove up to the Bay Area to get them and drove them in, and we gave them to all like our team members at the factory and stuff like that.
Nice.
And so we gave everybody some turkeys, and he was taking a turkey up to some of our neighbors up at Dinky.
Yeah.
Giving them some turkeys, and he dropped a 20-pound turkey right on his toe.
And
And his toe shattered, didn't just break, shattered into multiple places up into his foot. And they said, yeah, you got to get that set and get that taken care of. It's bad enough you're going to need surgery to set that correctly. because it was really bad. And he said, well, I'm going to South Africa. So he just went to South Africa with his foot like that.
Yeah, your dad's immortal.
Oh, my
So he
gosh.
came back, and now they're like, well, it's starting to heal. So just now you have to leave your boot on for the next 6 weeks because it's just going to heal like that.
Is that all jacked up or what?
I haven't seen it. I have a feeling.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. You get to a certain age, you just don't care. It's like, I lose a digit. Who cares?
he was
I
just
don't
like,
know.
Whatever. So he did this
Yeah.
whole South Africa trip.
My foot modeling career is over.
Safaring in, a bumpy Jeep and lugging all of his luggage and my niece's
In
luggage.
130-degree humid weather.
everywhere, with broken foot. My God.
Yeah, your dad's a He-Man. That's
So-
crazy.
We were like, how are you? I'm thinking he was telling everybody in the family, like, he didn't want everybody to worry. So the messages we were getting from the family group were like, everything's great. We're having so much fun. And then I would get these messages, side messages that were like, it's miserable. It's so miserable. Don't tell anybody. It was so funny.
Oh,
He
man.
was like, it's so hot.
Is it climate change? What's going on over there? Global warming? Or is this
that's
normal
what it is.
weather?
No, it's just normal. They just had it's normal. It just happened a little bit. Was it earlier or later than it was supposed to? So.
Okay.
I also remember there was that big volcano that launched all that water vapor into the air.
When did that happen?
It happened. It's one of the things they don't talk about when they talk about global warming.
Well, of
Because
course.
the temperatures are going to be up for the next few years just because of this volcano. It was a huge eruption, and it launched a lot of water vapor up in the air that's going to be hanging around up in the upper stratosphere for a while until it all comes down. And so all the temperatures are going to be up a few degrees. But they don't talk about that when it's global warming.
Well,
that
no.
was from Tonga's volcanic
Tonga,
eruption.
yeah, that
right?
was
Oh, my gosh.
That was just like a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
that happened a couple years ago.
The Tonga eruption will temporarily push Earth closer to 1.5 degrees Celsius increase.
Yeah.
And they're talking, and it's funny because they were just talking about how the global temperature, it's a big news, right?
It'll
Warning.
increase. It'll contribute to global warming over the 5 years. Next 5 years.
They're talking about that I just heard this, that because of climate change, they just said because of climate change that the temperature has went up 2 degrees, and it was a big warning.
1.5 of it is Tonga.
That
and all
is
that water
crazy.
vapor will eventually fall back down, and the temperatures will go back down 1.5 degrees.
but you guys can't
they don't
trust
talk about
frickin'
that
anything,
because
man. Come on.
it's all to manipulate us into a culture of fear where
Sure.
we will do whatever they want, and so we'll buy all these electric cars that they're making money off of.
Well, of course, that technology, which is not.
I am buying a rubber band powered car,
Which is
'cause
not
I know
any
how that
good.
works.
Wait,
It's good.
Wait, can we go down a rabbit hole?
Yeah.
No, wait.
Yeah,
Before you go there,
It's been a
before you
while.
go there, though, let me state though that didn't they just have that? What was it called? The COP summit over in Dubai.
Yeah, we're the president. You know about this?
Okay.
The president.
Is this part of the rabbit hole?
I know it's part. It's now I'm going down a separate
one.
rabbit hole. You guys,
Okay.
you got me 3 rabbit holes going on here. Are you guys kidding me?
All right, let's go.
The
Let's go.
climate change summit that happened.
Yes.
Right. The UN's climate change summit.
Yeah.
Climate change summit that every top scientist and every 127 leaders of the world
And Frank and
went.
Carrie.
Yes,
John
they all
Kerry.
showed up to this because it was the UN's. The president of that summit said climate change is a hoax and we have no science that backs it up. And then out of nowhere, they're all going, "Oh, that guy's a liar. He's full of it."
Really?
Boo."
I
They
didn't
don't
hear
know what
this
they're
part.
talking
Tar
about.
and feather him.
I
Now
didn't
they
hear this
hate
part.
the guy, even though they all traveled there and they
Yeah.
let him host. He's the president of the UN's climate change summit. And
Why
he's
would
like,
he
"Guys,"
say that though? He's given up the whole con.
because he
Why-
doesn't care.
He's done.
Because the thing is, he's from Abu Dhabi and he knows the truth, which is, guys, look, this is all fake. And the only and he says it's fake because he also knows how much oil we're pumping from Abu Dhabi. He's like, it's all fake. If you really cared, you guys all wouldn't be pumping oil over here. You're just not doing it in your own yard.
Yeah.
You're just
And
masking
you wouldn't be
it.
flying all your massive jets
That's
over
exactly.
here.
So he was like, he called them out on it. Like, look, we can all do this and pretend, but
Yeah.
like, at least let's admit it to each other. And now they freaking hate him.
Where it's true, we should work on ways of finding cleaner energy, but it's just like you don't want to do it through fear. You want to do it through, a conscious effort. Where
Sure.
You want to
Yeah, do it through positive reinforcement. Do it through
Yeah.
creative change.
Right.
But no, they can't control it though that way. They want it's like you say, it's fear because it's control.
I'm
That's
not
what it
making money
is.
off my solar panels that I'm putting on your roof.
Yeah. Yeah. What was the other rabbit hole you were going
yeah,
down?
I'm about to scare you guys.
Oh, good.
Okay.
It's been a while.
So this is actually really, really, really big.
Does this have to do with the boat parade in Morro Bay?
and the stacks.
Nothing with glass blowing, right?
The article. I want to pull up the article.
Okay. I can't. My daughter can't do a glass blowing class because it's contributing to climate change.
This is actually really. This
Global
is probably
warming.
the biggest news story, and I'm going to try to sum this up fast,
Okay.
as best as I can. This is probably one of the biggest news stories since the last time I talked about the biggest news story
That you don't hear about.
So, there was a congressional hearing last Thursday.
I love those hearings.
Last
Okay.
Thursday. Nobody
the
talks
best
about
kind.
this. The congressional hearing was on the weaponization of the federal government. That's what it was called. Okay. There is a group called the Cyber Threat Intelligence League, the CTIL.
Like the Justice League?
CTIL. It's a group
Okay.
within our government. There's also a group within our government called the Election Integrity Partnership.
Okay.
There's also a third group called the Virality Project. Okay, that's it. There's the three groups. Remember those.
Okay.
There's a bunch of files that were leaked through a whistleblower. They call them the CTI files, CTIL, the Cyber Threat Intelligence League files,
Okay.
which is a trove of documents that a whistleblower provided. This is what it shows. This is actually really scary. And the best way to explain this is that this group within the government there's a couple other agencies that the CTIL League partners with. One, the Department of Homeland Security, but not just the Department of Homeland Security, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA. They have implemented over the last number of years something called AMITT. This stands for. This is all true, by the way. I'm not making this up. This is you can watch and listen to the hearing, read the hearing. It stands for the Adversarial Misinformation and Influence Tactics and Techniques. Now I'm going to read a bunch of quotes from the hearing.
Okay.
AMIT, which stands for Adversarial Misinformation, Influence, Tactics, and Techniques, was a disinformation framework run by our government that included many offensive actions, including working to influence government policy, discrediting alternative media, using bots and, quote, sock puppets, pre-bunking true news stories, and pushing counter messaging. The specific counters to disinformation included, this is things they did, to create policy that makes social media police disinformation, to have strong dialogue between the federal government and private sectors to encourage reporting on citizens, to marginalize and discredit extremists, to name and shame influencers, to simulate misinformation and disinformation campaigns and the responses to them before campaigns even happen, to use banking to cut off people's access, to inoculate populations through media literacy training, to infiltrate the in-groups to discredit leaders, to honeypot with coordinated inauthentics, co-opt hashtags and drown them out, quote, hijack it back, to dilute core narratives of news stories, create multiple permutations, target them and amplify them, newsroom and journalist training to counter influence moves, to educate high-profile influencers on best practices to spread information, and create fake websites to issue counter narratives. What they then go on to say is that they did, let me find the exact quote, they worked with what they called the Five Eyes, the five big Western intelligence agencies, because like the CIA can't spy on our own citizens, but we can spy on the British, and the British can spy on us. And then they exchanged information.
Okay.
They did things what they call were disinformation and psyops on the American population. Like literally, they have just been, their plans included, quote, psychological operations, debanking, and changing platforms' terms of services. So it goes on to talk about essentially that what their plan is, and this is a weird thing to kind of understand, and I'm trying to understand it myself. They talk about not trying to get rid of freedom, but to kind of
Co-opt it.
No, but to co-opt free will, which is a weird thing to try to think about. Like, how can you take away my free will? Well, you can't take away freedom without people being like, you're taking away my freedom. But if everything you see is fake and you literally are being told story after story after story from fake websites, from journalists that the government has co-opted, from all the stuff they just said, like performing psychological operations on us, and you have a good idea or you have an idea to do something, it's probably not even your idea.
Sure.
They have been pushing that. So that's an insane story. But then I did this, so like literally I read this. I'm freaking out about it. I'm doing my research on it. I'm reading like, I'm getting super deep into this story for a while here.
Yeah.
Simultaneously, the other part of my life is this. I'm in my backyard and I built a play set for my daughter, and we're thinking, oh man, I'm going to put like some stuff down, some padding for her to, so she falls off the slide. Then we thought, you know what, this is getting expensive. Why don't I just put like playground AstroTurf? It's like AstroTurf that has padding on like the back half of my yard. It would be cheaper than everything else I'm doing. So I'm like, okay, cool. And then I hear that, I don't know if you guys know this, they're trying to ban AstroTurf in California. AstroTurf is now is trying to be banned right now.
Like fake grass.
Fake grass it's banned in 5 cities.
Why?
Newsom is about to sign the bill to ban it. Oh, because it's bad for the climate, guys. Come on. Remember, watering our lawns is bad, but AstroTurf is even worse. Literally, side note, one of the official websites I found about alternatives to grass and AstroTurf is to let your yard get wet and grow moss. True story. So I see this and I go, man, this is like so like weird. But I'm like, how are they going to convince people that like I shouldn't get grass or AstroTurf? So I had that thought. And then, see if I can find it. Did I save it?
I discovered glass blowing.
And then I started seeing all of these crazy stories like this. Let's see if I can find it. Just to kind of give you like a really good example.
For fake.
Here it is. Then I just see this story. Like, a new report shows that homeowners are coming to regret a highly popular landscaping tactic. It's a chore I hadn't reckoned with. Artificial turf is all of a sudden I'm starting to see all these weird articles about like
how bad AstroTurf is.
Not just one or two.
Sure.
Well, what's an example of how it's bad?
I'm talking 10, 20. Homeowner regrets wasting. Look at this is wasting money on lawn upgrade that literally melted. This is by somebody named. So why? Think about this. Why out of nowhere in a month would a journalist start talking to me, start writing articles about how AstroTurf is so bad? That's journalist one. It's so bad. This is plastic, and every step of the life is laden with environmental costs. Oh. And then here's a second article by another journalist, Lauren Stell. Here's experts issue warning to halt installation. It should be the last resort. There's another one, Sarah Klimek.
That didn't even look like good AstroTurf, that picture. Just
like carpet.
They rolled out the carpet.
I am telling you right now, there is probably since November 15th, I have probably seen 100 articles, and I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah.
100 news articles written by apparently journalists, all with stories that aren't like, oh, you shouldn't use AstroTurf, but articles like homeowner regrets wasting money on supposed lawn upgrade. Because what happens is, this is exactly what we just read about the government's doing. These aren't saying, hey, you should stop doing AstroTurf. We're all just seeing all of these stories slowly. And then when we're about to do AstroTurf, where you finally see the government saying, hey, we should ban it, we're all going to go, yeah, we should ban it. I heard that. Did you guys hear that one guy, his baby melted onto the AstroTurf?
Yeah, and
it's
they
evil.
just had to leave it there and feed it.
Well,
and now it's 20 years
it gets
old.
super hot. It boggles the mind. This is a quote. it boggles the mind. Like,
Isn't this considered propaganda? This is all propaganda.
it's
though.
much worse than propaganda. It is them doing literally psychological operations because it's not just
It's ruining life free
propaganda.
will.
It is them targeting people specifically and inserting it at specific
Well,
times.
and are you sure that this isn't because Newsom's running for president and he's trying to shore up all the loose ends? This might be one he thinks they nail him on.
Could be, but my point is this story is frightening.
Sure. First, let me say this. It doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, we've talked many times about it on this show. I don't even listen to the news anymore, to be honest with you, man. I mean, I'll listen to some stories that interest me for
It's
the
100% fake.
Yeah, some stories that interest me, or some people that I like to listen to or watch. But as far as mainstream news and whatever they say, I don't listen to them. I don't care. And I always think that, what's the hook here? What's going on? What are they trying to get me to do? But let me also put this little thing on here I want to say. It's very important. For all the government agencies that are listening right now, the Doorman does not have a problem with this. Do not come to my home, and I'm not feeling suicidal at all.
That's another thing. I would never. I'm not suicidal. That's a good point. I'm not suicidal. Also, I just want everybody to remember that I used to have guns, but I lost them all in that boating accident.
I remember that. 'Cause
You guys remember that?
Yeah, you were
Yeah,
lighting up your
yeah.
boat with all the lights
Yep.
for the Morro
and
Bay,
I tipped, and it all
and the whole thing caught
And
on
I
fire,
will-
everything. They all sunk.
and they all sunk to the bottom of the
And I will
Such
say
a
once
shame.
again, I have no problem with the government doing this.
But will you guys stop for think about what I just told you.
Yeah.
We now have congressional hearings, people just flat out saying, yes, we are performing psychological operations, and on us to try to change our free will
Yes,
and
of
convince
course.
us of that's insane. Like, this is worse
Well,
than China.
I mean,
It's worse. At
we
least China admits it.
we live in a simulation. We already know that.
It's
I mean,
crazy, guys.
yeah.
Like, this is the deeper you dig into this, it's really not good. It's frightening. It's frightening. So everybody's like, "Oh, well, how was an election stolen?"
But-
or "How do you mean they didn't?" I'm like,
But
they literally are telling us.
But to me, this is really for governments or any type of kings or anybody that's in control of a large population. It's really nothing new, is it? That's why I say there's nothing new under the sun here. It's just they're more sophisticated and they have more tools because of the technology we have. Other than that, though, I mean, haven't people in power, haven't they always tried to control people, and haven't they always used,
They've
there's like,
always
the
tried,
sun monster will get you, or we have
Yeah.
to sacrifice this person in the volcano.
Or if you do this,
differences-
you'll go to hell.
this is
Yeah.
scarier because this is you thinking that you're doing your own research.
yeah.
Like, this is not somebody telling you anything. This is you
Yeah.
going,
It
I'm
is
not listening to the news. I'm reading a book. I'm listening, and I find somebody that I trust, and keep in mind the other half of that was terms of service being changed. It means you sign up for social media accounts or any internet accounts, and then they will work with those companies
Sure.
to change the terms of service without telling you, and then get all your data.
Centipede
That's
people.
frightening.
Well, they get all your data. Okay, so they know they can build a profile on you. But the other thing too is like the feeds, especially with Facebook, so useless. The feeds and stuff, they're only sending you stuff that they want you to see anyway, right?
Yeah,
and
so
it
they're
gets
controlling and manipulating
It gets people all riled up. But if people they could probably still find them around YouTube or the areas. I know there's certain podcasts that put them together, but I mean, you can tell that there's a narrative and I know this is a little bit different than what you're saying, but when you're watching like your nightly news, but you hear those people that put together those super cuts where it's like every news station, every news reporter, even your local
Saying the
ones
same thing.
say
Yeah.
the same exact thing. All of them say it at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So they're being pushed out a story and they're just reading. They're basically
right.
they're not doing any reporting. They're basically just figureheads reading.
I'm
at
also
this point.
I'm gonna do one more story that just kind of proves this. So mid-November,
Yeah.
all of the car people, Ford car manufacturers, Ford was a big one. Ford lost like $1 billion on EVs, all because it was the time of the year where all their information came out, right?
Yeah.
So mid-November, these are the news stories. Here we are. USA Today: EV sales are slowing, leaving an EV pile. What the hell?
Of poop,
Leaving
of
an
EV
EV
poop.
pile up on car lots. Okay, right?
Yeah.
Forbes, 5 reasons why electric vehicles have slowed. Okay, electric vehicle. Then we have USA Today again. EV sales declining. The electrifying car market may be getting harder. Ars Technica. Car dealers say they can't sell LVs. They tell Biden to slow the rollout. So they talk about how essentially there was story after story after story. NBC. Why dealers say EV sales are slowing. Tech Radar. Electric car sales are slowing. That isn't even the full story. Reuters, alarm bells sound on the slow demand for electric
slow
vehicles.
seems to be a key word
so
here.
it's all slow, right? But
Yes.
it's also pointing out not just slowing, they're all losing tons of money.
Sure.
Tons of money. Those are all the stories that are coming out.
They'll need a bailout soon.
But then, so I'm reading those stories, and I'm like, well, yeah, it's interesting. And then I see this little thing, right? I'm just going to read this. So that story's coming out. And then November, this story comes out from energy.gov, correcting the record about electric vehicle sales. This is from the government. EV sales are growing year over year, and 2023 continues that trend.
Oh, boy.
In the last few years, electric vehicles have taken off in the consumer market. However, there has been some recent public discourse about sales, with claims that the industry is declining. Before these misconceptions sow more seeds of doubt, let's set the record straight.
Sure.
1 second here. We have actual car manufacturers and dealers and news media saying, these are the facts. Then the government comes and says, by the way, let's set the record straight. Myth 1, EV sales are experiencing a decline in numbers. Reality, electric vehicles have been growing. Myth 2, there's a lack of charging structure. Reality, most EV drivers meet their daily driving ranges. Myth number 3, they go on and on. And this is like and then this is what happens after that. This story comes out from the government. Within a week, the same people that I told you wrote those other articles.
Well, sure.
Are dead.
Right, these articles. U.S. electric vehicle sales hit record this year.
Greater than ever.
Automakers, dealers, and shoppers.
Let's do this right. Let's do this right. Tonight on the news, EV sales are greater than ever, despite false and fake news stories.
So here we go. I'm going to read you. These are
That's right,
all
comrade.
from routers, right? These are from routers. Electric car sales appear to be slowing. Alarm bells sound on slowing demand for electric vehicles. EV sales are declining. There's another one. Car dealers say they can't even sell EVs. They tell Biden to slow their rollout. Same news station a week later. How electric vehicles are accelerating at the end of the oil age. Same one. This is still routers. Where it just went. Maybe that was the one. But I mean, like, and then we have...
They're changing in front of your eyes. They're changing the story right now.
It's literally insane to me, though. Like...
No, to me, this is, I don't know. I don't.
EVs skyrocket up 50.7% year over year.
But, okay, here's the deal, though. You told me about a little book called Trust Me, I'm Lying. It's a great book. This is kind of, it doesn't explain this whole story, but that's part of it, where it talks about a guy they're able to generate this kind of fake news narrative that has a smidgen of truth.
Right.
But they're actually,
But I mean, like,
lying
I'm
about
telling
it.
you guys, like, if you go to Google right now, I'm on page, 11, and I'm still looking at all the new fake, all the news stories. Electric vehicle sales at U.S. hit the accelerator pedal.
Who is this, Yahoo, you said, or Google?
Now I'm on Google. Now I'm
AOL. It's on AOL.
all within this week. 82% increase. Like, it's insane.
Well, no, I say that because, it's funny. Why does every story seem to have Yahoo News attached to it? I'm like, what? Where did Yahoo News
I'll tell you
come
what,
up?
Yahoo. The reason is Yahoo picked a side story. They're really just, if you look close, they're just re-reporting other news stations.
Sure, yeah, I understand that, but it's just funny how they all say Yahoo News.
Right.
But anyway, but you're obviously on Google. They're going to feed you all these. They're going to feed you what the government wanted you to know.
It's insane.
Yeah,
how much?
Of course it is.
Because it's an exact proof. When he said like you can't trust the news, like here it is. Like it's right in front of my eyes. It's crazy.
Let me ask you this though.
Yes.
Here's the question: They're doing it, but I think though the veil, we've talked about it a few times, is getting lifted.
I hope. Most people are. I'm sorry.
There's gonna be a large chunk. There's gonna be a large chunk of people that just either they don't believe it, they don't want to believe it, or they just don't know. But there's also people who see the veil is lifting, and they're getting inoculated to these stories. I mean, it always happens. There's going to be a part of the population that just doesn't buy this crap. Like me, I don't even think. I mean, every time I hear a news story, I don't even think it's. I don't listen to the mainstream news. But every news story that comes out of them, I'm like, this is fake. Why are they pushing this story now? It's the same thing with what happened. Didn't they have like last week? They had like big Hunter Biden. Like they've got proof that Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, all this stuff, right? And what do they do? What do they roll out? All of a sudden, new UFO footage. There's new UFOs. Right. It's like, look over here, squirrel. They're trying to get your attention away. I mean, it's just, of course they are, man.
Like, isn't Ukraine still having some sort of war? Aren't they still doing that? You never hear about that in the news
or
anymore.
Still keep on sending them money.
No, it's not that anymore. It's not Ukraine. Who is it? It's the Israeli thing going on now. It's not because that's old news. Yeah. Ukraine's old news now.
Yeah, because we don't talk about Ukraine. We just keep on sending the money behind our backs.
Yeah, and also we just send a lot of money to Israel to kill children. So hey,
sending it.
Well, it just goes to show how that's all just. This is all fun. I mean, this whole economy thing. It is like we're living in some kind of crazy. Alternative reality.
I know, and then when
something.
you think it can't get any sillier, and it does, and you're going, "Oh my god!"
We're just constantly like getting. You can't trust anything. Is all I'm saying. Don't trust anything.
I'm surprised you're as shocked as you are, though, because you've known this stuff for a long time.
But when you actually read this, though, and you're like,
but see, they don't even care anymore. That's the thing. It's like they'll go in front of these committees and say, it's kind of like this. Sorry, but real quick, it's kind of like what Newsom did the other day when they're talking about, hey, why is San Francisco cleaned up? And he's like, well, yeah, we cleaned it up. Yeah, because we cleaned it up.
Right.
Yeah. Chinese were coming, yeah.
So what? We put Chinese flags up all over.
Yeah, it's like so what?
They own it. So hey, we gotta make it look good.
They're not even trying to hide it anymore. They're just doing stuff right in front of your face.
There's a difference between like knowing it and then actually reading. Like, yes, we are doing these exact things and performing psyops on you to take away your free will. Like, you do not know. Like, you're not gonna know when an idea. Like, we're this close to not knowing when an idea is yours. We'll have for all I know, I'm discovering this stuff because they want me to report on it. I have no idea. You don't know anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know. I'm like, how do I know that I'm not whatever I'm searching? They're like, yeah, feed him this shit. Here we go. He'll be a scapegoat down the line. Like, do you guys know the story of Douglas Mackey?
There's always but real quick before we get on to him, there's always that thing, right, where it's like, isn't it like the bad that goes on? They kind of have to tell you that they're doing the bad before, and then you kind of like choose it out of your own. You know what I mean? Like with the shot, they say, well, we never forced anybody to get anything, but then it's like, well, you chose it. You could have always said no. So that it's kind of this whole double speak thing about. Anyway, sorry, Mackey. What about?
Do you guys know Douglas Mackey?
Not personally.
Why does that name sound familiar? You probably told us about it before.
It's the second scariest story in America right now. Douglas Mackey is a Twitter meme guy. He made memes on Twitter in 2015. He was
Don't tell me he's some like high school girl.
No, he's just some dude. He was a dude who got
doing it.
He was 2015. He started making.
Is this the guy that got busted?
Yeah, but do you guys know the story? His story is this: he made memes.
Yes. One
of his memes, and I remember seeing this because it got passed around. It said, "Skip the line, vote from home."
Yeah.
Text Hillary to 59925. Right. Yeah. It was like,
and somebody did that on the other side too for Trump.
Exactly.
Yes.
So it was just like it was a fake tweet. Like it was like, I remember thinking, oh, that's funny. Like, I get it. You're like, because honestly, you didn't see this unless you were like part of a meme page. Like, I thought, oh, that's a funny meme. This guy sends that out, forgets about it. Right? That was 2015. He posts this 2 weeks after Biden gets into office. 4 years after Douglas Mackey posts this on his Twitter account, he's sitting at home hanging out. FBI and 5 other agencies bust down his door, arrest him. He's now in federal prison for what do they say? For election interference. In the court of law, The FBI, his lawyer said, can you even prove that we tricked one person to not, did one
Yeah.
person not
Yeah.
vote because of this? Can you prove it? They found 0 people. They could prove that nobody even texted the number with real votes, but that wasn't the problem. They got him for his, quote, intent for election
Sure.
interference. A man tweeted a meme, and he is in federal prison because they said they apparently can read his mind.
Yeah, yeah.
and
They
say that
can't
he
prove
intended-
they can't prove intent.
Think about
but
how
they're
scary
going
that
off of
is. We could imagine in 5 years. 5 years, we're sitting here. Governor, all of a sudden, President Newsom is in place, and FBI bangs down our door and say, "Hey guys, your podcast was spreading misinformation."
They'll never take me alive.
Like literally, that's what happened to this guy.
That's scary.
Yeah.
It's frightening. Like this is what's going on, and what that does is it's scaring people to
Sure.
telling the truth. It's frightening. It's frightening me. I was literally going like, "Oh shit!" Like literally, "Oh my gosh!"
Yeah.
Like how? Like what have I said
See, it
on
gets you
this
thinking
show
that way.
that is going to that the FBI is going to come take me and lock me up, and I'm going to go, well, of course they can't like bust me. That's insane.
So the
This guy's
shit-
in federal prison for a meme.
Yeah.
It's frightening. This is what's going on. And instead, they're going UFOs, UFOs.
Yeah, no,
Unreal.
it is frightening. You're right, but this stuff. But as far as political prisoners, these things have always happened too. It happened under Obama with the Tea Party.
I don't like your whole "don't worry about this" situation.
I'm not. It's not. You know what it
You're
is?
very
It's,
cool, calm, and
no.
collected.
It's not that it's not worrying.
trust
And once
him
again,
either.
I'll
I
go
don't
back and
trust
say
him either.
I
He's a
see nothing
plant.
wrong
He's
with
a
this.
plant. You're not even a real person.
I'm undercover.
You're like that lady on that plane.
Oh yeah. That's right. Oh yeah.
You're not.
You're not real, man.
You're not real, man.
No. It's not that I have. It's just like I'm not shocked by this. I guess in the sense of this is not. It's like of course. Why wouldn't they?
It's crazy. This
Because
is
you tell
China.
people, this is what you tell people. If you do certain things, this is what's going to happen. And people have been barking this for a long time. And guess what? They didn't listen, and now things are happening. The funny thing is, though, it's also turning on themselves. Have you seen all these college campuses now where they're screaming? What are they screaming?
Where they're having shootings, or the ones that aren't having shootings?
No, they call it where they're having these. They're going basically against the. You would think what the establishment would be, the leftist establishment, but they're actually turning. These kids are turning on them now. They're calling. What are they calling President Biden now? They're calling him something because of the whole Palestine. Israel thing. The thing is that it's going to turn on them. That's what's happening. But as far as the people that have the power to do, I don't know, man. What's the answer? What are you telling me then? What's the answer? Here's what I think.
I don't know, man.
The answer is, you know
I
what?
don't know.
Speak the truth.
I'm starting to go. Maybe those guys weren't all that wrong.
Speak the truth. Believe in your God.
Yeah, but
and
then these guys would have been in charge. The guy with the buffalo ear horns on his head.
Yeah, but at least it would have
been in
just let
charge.
me do it.
well,
He probably would've been
we
throwing
see
people in
how
prison.
fake
Yeah,
and
that's true.
phony the news, all that stuff was, and you got.
Oh, right. Have
people-
you guys seen the
that's-
tapes?
That's the other.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. You see how these people that were outside that didn't do anything are getting arrested.
People who weren't there.
People who
are
weren't
in
even
federal
there are
prison.
getting arrested.
The guy who wasn't there, who got 20 years in prison. Have you guys watched some of the tapes that they
Yeah.
that they released? They released like hundreds of hours of tape.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I seen like the Tucker one
Seen
where the
some
horn
of
hat guy, the policeman, the Capitol Police is leading the guy around, unlocking doors
Right,
for him,
right.
letting him
Have you
in,
seen
just
the new
walking
ones
around
though,
there
where
talking.
they're getting the guys and they're literally like taking off their helmets and stuff, and fist pumping the police and like that sort of stuff?
No, I haven't seen that one.
It's crazy. They're like in the crowd, and they get in, they turn the corner, it cuts to the next camera. They're taking their helmets, their stuff off, and they're like fist pumping the other police, and then being like, "All right," and like going out the other door.
But you could
It's
see
crazy.
the way when that thing first
It's
went
crazy.
down. When that thing first went down, and they released video footage of it was almost like first person footage of these guys running into the Capitol, and the police is like scared and he's backing up, and then you like saw the other person that was waiting on. Come on. You could tell the whole thing was freaking directed, and it was phony. It was phony. Whatever they did was phony, and you knew it was a setup, man.
Here you go. Look at it.
Okay, we're gonna watch
Here's
a
one of
video
these
right now.
videos. Here's a arrested. He's arrested, right? He's arrested.
Who's this? One of the J6
This is the one
guys?
that's so
Doing a
early
body
on.
cavity
So you
search,
follow
it
him.
looks like,
the
or-
video follows him from outside. He's like, "Rah!" He comes into the building. Blah 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 blah. He's shouting. The police arrest him. Here he is getting arrested. No, wait. What are they doing?
body
He turned
cavity
corner.
search.
Now what are they doing? Are they taking his cuffs off?
Oh, was this guy
Wait a second. This is weird. Why would they take his...
Was this guy a plant in the crowd?
Oh, what? Oh, is he fist bumping the police there? Interesting. Did they just uncuff him?
at the FBI office.
Oh,
next
so
week.
he was undercover to get everybody riled up. Yeah.
Like, clearly.
Look at that.
Oh, here's your stuff
Yeah.
back, man.
Here's
All right,
your
we'll see
weapon.
ya.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Just change your clothes and go out. Take your helmet off. Go out the back door.
Like, this is crazy.
Okay, so this is on YouTube, and what is this called? J6 protester fist bumps
Yeah, this
police.
is from the Washington Examiner. You can have there are tons of these. And like I'm not saying that I'm sure there was some crazies out there. I get it. But
Sure.
my point is you
Someone
can't
has-
trust the entire narrative.
Yeah, and
Like, you
probably
don't-
like you said, though, they were rousing up the crazies.
They
Oh,
they want to
100%.
rouse up those people. They wanted it to be more than what it was, and then when it didn't turn out like that, now they have to do all this other junk.
Well, we just got demonetized.
Okay, here's the
Anyways,
deal.
we're
Here's the deal.
Yeah,
I'm telling
we
you,
were monetized before. We
Speak
were
the
making so
truth.
much money.
pray to your God and grow a garden, love your family and your friends, and that's it. That's the answer.
all right, man. So there's a Grinch and a pink house coming up.
We'll talk about that next show. We're almost out of
What?
here. We're out of here, man.
Meet the greet, the Grinch.
No, we're gonna talk about. Let's talk about it next show.
Scheduling. There's a pink Victorian farmhouse in Clovis.
Yeah, there's the
Next
FBI's
show we're
gonna
gonna
come get
do-
us. If
okay.
maybe they're gonna be
Now,
here.
I'm
soon.
sorry.
Just
You know
be
what?
careful. They
It's-
might arrest you.
it's
if you
my
show
fault.
up.
in the studio.
Like, get
It's
in
my
trouble
fault.
there.
I let him go. I let Johnny Dobbs go down rabbit holes. I'm sorry, audience. I'm sorry. It's
Careful,
my
guys. Just, if you show up, make sure you're not wearing like an American flag shirt or anything.
I just wanted to talk more about glass blowing.
fault.
Milky air. If you guys enjoy our show, send us some money.
It's
been a lot of fun.
Like I said, we have no problem. Let me state that again.
I'll stay. It's a good point. I am not suicidal. I love my family.
President Newsom is a great idea.
Well,
The most wonderful president ever.
thank God. We're going off a
So
cliff.
Grinch, huh?
All right.
Bye, everybody. It's been fun.
Hey, buy us a coffee at least. Have we got any coffees?
Don't trust anything.
Buy us some heat.